We're going to talk about the history of wetlands on the Hogan-Pancost property. Going back to 1994, the prior owner of the Pancost property, the parcel on the north side, brought in an extensive amount of fill dirt. This was not permitted by the county and they had to come out and issue a stop work order. The following year, city planning staff sent this memo to planning board, and in it they stated that the fill material was placed on the site and it may have been placed over wetland areas. The placement and location of the fill material on the site is an issue that must be addressed prior to any annexation of the subject property. We're not aware that this has ever happened. In 2002, the following letter was submitted to the county by the current property owners. This letter was from their professional wetlands consulting group, and the letter states, "It is recommended that the existing low-quality wetlands be filled prior to any annexation into the city of Boulder, so the entire site will be available for development." In February 2008, the developer wanted to put in 2,000 feet of French drains to, as they state in their letter to neighbors, contain some of the groundwater seepage. This was not permitted by the county. They had to come out and issue a stop work order. And furthermore, there was no permission from the ditch company to do this work in the ditch easement. Here's an aerial photograph taken from the city website that was taken the spring of that year. And it clearly depicts the roadway, the construction access road that they had to put in along the southern and western boundaries of the property. You can even see all of the French drain pipes that were laid out. This was 2,000 feet of roadway, so almost a half a mile. And given a 40 to 50 foot wide impact corridor, we're looking at 2 to 3 acres of impact. Let's go see what it impacted. Now in the following slides, we're going to be showing parts of the map that was submitted just last fall in 2011, which shows the official City of Boulder regulatory wetlands on the property that were just delineated this summer of 2011. The arrows show the approximate location of some of the pictures we'll be showing, and we'll be showing some before and after photos. So here we have a picture of the ditch along the southern side of the property line. It's a very lush wetland corridor. Typical conditions, now we're looking west along the property. Unfortunately, this is where they put in the southern part of the construction road. Now these pictures were taken during this event in February 2008. Much heavy equipment went up and down this road, including large gravel trucks. Further west along the property line, there was an area that had incredibly lush 4 to 5 foot tall wetland grasses. And along the ditch corridor, again, the pictures speak for themselves. We're going to go look at a movie right now of this area taken before this excavation work. And unfortunately, that area also was impacted by this roadway corridor. Further west, there was a small area that had a lush grove of willows. This was, in the developer's own words, Preble's mouse habitat, willow groves. A beautiful little micro-ecosystem right there. But bulldozed away. They actually dug a 2 to 3 foot deep hole in this area and severely impacted this willow grove. Here's the southwest corner of the property. Again, construction zone. Now we're going to go along the west side. As we see, the black line shows the approximate location of the construction road they put in. They had to bring in many loads of gravel, and it's ironic, this time their truck actually got stuck in some of the wet areas and had to be towed out. Of course, this resulted in extensive damage to the property. Now these pictures were taken in May of 2008 and show some of the impacts of this gravel on the surrounding wetland areas. Pretty extensive. Now in the northwest corner of the property, again there used to be wetlands along the Howard and Superfossical Ditch. But this area received the brunt of the excavation work and the construction work. This is the actual sump pit that they were going to drain, that 2,000 feet of French drains were going to drain into. Well, in March of that year, the city of Boulder, this Boulder City Council, wrote the following letter to the Boulder County, in which they expressed the city's serious concerns and disappointment with the actions of the property owner and the work that occurred on the Hogan-Pancost property. They urged the county to require restitution and restoration of the property to its state prior to the unlawful grading. Signed, Sean McGrath, Mayor of Boulder. The county sent this letter to the developer, in which they require that soil amendments should be applied to the gravel and reseeding will be required if it does not revegetate. Unfortunately, going from wetland meadows to gravel road, I don't see how this could ever be restored to its prior state. Well, that's the end of part one of this history of wetlands. In part two, we take up in May of 2008 to see even more work.